That time when I was in love, I used to think love was something beautiful, perfect, like a gentle sunset where golden light stretches across a familiar path. That person appeared like a part of a dream, carrying a natural allure and something that stirred my heart, like the first notes of a melody yet to be written. I believed that as long as we loved enough, everything could be resolved. But life always finds a way to test the things we hold dear. As the love grew deeper, I began to see the darker corners of their soul, things I had never noticed before, or perhaps I had deliberately chosen not to see. Those were quiet pains, scars from the past that they carried, like heavy baggage that couldn't be left behind. In those moments, I didn't just see the person I loved, I saw the life they had lived, the wounds that hadn't healed, and the turbulent waves they were still struggling to overcome. There was a time when they looked at me, their once clear eyes now shrouded in a faint mist. "I'm fine," they said, but I knew behind those words lay things that had never been spoken. I thought that if I were patient enough, strong enough, I could be the place they leaned on, the one who could help erase their pain. But the deeper I ventured, the more I realized there were things only they could face. And in that journey, there were moments when I forgot who I was and what I needed. Love isn't just about serene sunsets. It's also about torrential rains, sleepless nights, and those suffocating moments of confronting yourself. Sometimes love becomes a mirror, reflecting all the imperfections and vulnerabilities in both people. You can choose to look deeply or turn away, but one thing is certain, you can't ignore it. There were times I asked myself, was this love worth it? When every passing day, not only joy but also pain continued to build up. I don't know how many times my heart endured before it became numb. Was it because of love that I let them hurt me? Or was it me, too afraid of loss, who hurt myself? The fading feeling didn't come because they changed, but because I started to see more clearly. So clearly that every joy and every pain became undeniably apparent. At first I thought that if I just tried harder, put in a little more effort, everything would be fine. But as it turns out, love isn't just about holding on. It's also about letting go at the right time. Letting go of expectations, of the illusion that love is salvation. In the end, I realized love isn't a path lined with roses, nor is it a place to seek perfection or fulfillment. Love is a journey where every step leaves its mark, sometimes as wounds, other times as lessons. And sometimes to truly love, we must learn to stand still, to look back at ourselves amidst the cracks and ask, have I loved myself enough to continue loving someone else? Life, if likened to a symphony, has love and work as its two main melodies, rising and falling, blending yet constantly clashing. People often think that holding on to these two things will make life complete. But the truth is, the more we chase them, the easier it is to fall into a spiral of instability. There are days when you feel your mind drained by work pressures, but it's love that leaves your heart utterly exhausted. Love, which once felt like gentle sunlight, suddenly becomes a smoldering fire that scorches quietly. Words that seem harmless, fleeting glances can turn into piercing needles that cause unexpected pain. Why is it that a simple action can feel sweet one moment and cruel the next? Perhaps the problem doesn't lie with the other person, but deep within yourself, where storms of the heart have never truly settled. Back then, I used to think love was a refuge, a peaceful harbor. But the deeper I went, the more I realized it was my own illusions of perfection that caused everything to crumble. They weren't an angel, and I wasn't a hero. We were both flawed humans, and love wasn't some magic that could erase everything. I remember one time when I overreacted to a casual comment they made. It wasn't anything significant, but at that moment it felt like a knife cutting into the most vulnerable part of me. They were bewildered, and I stayed silent. Later, when I calmed down, I asked myself, was it my own small, closed-off soul that turned something so minor into such a deep wound? We were once resilient, strong like a mighty river, but perhaps that river has gradually dried up over the years, leaving behind just a small bowl of water. A pinch of life's bitterness is enough to muddy it. The sense of ease we once had has disappeared, replaced by an intense reaction to things that once seemed insignificant. Has our fragile heart been quietly invaded by life's cracks without us realizing it? Love isn't just dreaming about beauty, it's also learning to face hardship. But human endurance has its limits. Caring for someone carrying deep pain is sometimes like living alongside a smoldering volcano. At times it feels peaceful, yet you never know when it might erupt and destroy everything. And those eruptions, if they repeat, can make even the strongest person falter. We love instinctively, but forget that love needs nurturing, growth, and effort. A heart that doesn't expand cannot hold the highs and lows of another. And when the heart runs dry, we not only hurt ourselves, but also pull our loved ones into the abyss. I once thought that loving with all my heart would overcome any difficulty. But love isn't just a feeling, it's the courage to face darkness, the patience to rebuild day by day, and the acceptance that not everything will be perfect. Perhaps love isn't just about finding happiness, but about learning to love ourselves enough not to be swept away by someone else's chaos. I remember a winter afternoon, the cold wind weaving through the leaves. They sat there, silent, as if trying to swallow their own pain. Their face was weary, their eyes heavy with shadows. They said nothing, but anger and unease filled the air. Like a surging underground river, I knew I couldn't stop. In moments like that, I often ask myself, can I keep going? Is my heart strong enough to endure this? Love, truly, is not easy. At first, it feels like warm sunlight, like clear water. But when storms arise, everything begins to expose the fragility in both of you. The person you once thought would be your greatest comfort can become the source of your deepest wounds. Harsh words, careless actions, each like a tiny blade, cutting into you little by little. And in your own moments of weakness, you might unintentionally hurt them too. Love, it turns out, isn't just about the beautiful things. But I also understand that their anger wasn't directed at me. It was the cry of pain deeply rooted within them. They weren't trying to hurt me intentionally. They simply didn't know any other way to face themselves. When you truly love someone, you realize that their pain becomes a burden you share, whether you want to or not. There were times I felt so exhausted that I wanted to leave. But in those moments, memories of our beautiful times together came flooding back. I remembered the smiles, the loving gazes. I remembered the moments when they were fragile, vulnerable, leaning on me like a stake in a rushing flood. How could I abandon someone I had once vowed to love and protect, just because they had lost their way? Even so, I've learned that loving someone doesn't mean sacrificing everything and leaving nothing for yourself. When you're drained, when your heart is worn down by repeated struggles, stepping back to rest is essential. No one can love fully if their heart has been eroded by pain. The most important thing is to protect yourself, because only when you're steady can you continue to be a support for someone else. I often remind myself that true love isn't just about being together during happy times. It's about facing challenges together. It's about being willing to accept each other's imperfections without forgetting to value yourself. It's about understanding that sometimes, to go the distance, both people need to give each other space to heal. Not all relationships last forever, but that doesn't mean they lack meaning. Regardless of how they end, I believe we should leave each other with beautiful memories, not resentment or bitterness. In the end, love, whether short or long, is something that once made us feel alive, that once gave us hope in the goodness of life. When you look closely, life is a continuous flow of emotions, lessons, and shared sorrows. I used to think that human strength lay in power, fame, or intellect. But time has taught me that the one thing truly enduring is love, the kind we give without expecting anything in return, the kind we offer for others' sake without needing gratitude. In every relationship, there are moments of hurt that are inevitable. A careless word, a thoughtless action, or sometimes even untimely silence can leave cracks in the other person's heart. But I've realized that avoiding mistakes isn't the most important thing. It's how we face, mend, and forgive each other afterward that truly matters. Forgiveness isn't something reserved for the easy moments. True forgiveness emerges when things get tough, when we're tired, when our own hearts are full of unhealed wounds. But you know what? Forgiveness is like the smallest light in the darkest night. It doesn't just soothe others, it also calms the shadowy corners of our own soul. Once I cared for someone who was in a state of emotional turmoil. They carried fear, anger, and at times lost control of their emotions. During those days, I faced unpredictable outbursts and deeply hurtful words. There were moments I thought I couldn't go on, But when I looked into their eyes, filled with despair, I suddenly realized if I didn't help them, who would? I understood that the negative emotions they projected weren't meant to hurt me. They were cries for help, their way of reaching out in the storm, hoping someone would extend a hand to pull them to safety. And I, with all my fragility and strength, decided to take that hand. Not because I was perfect, but because I knew that sometimes all it takes is one person willing to stop and listen to change the course of someone else's life. But you also need to understand that no one can keep giving without restoring themselves. There were times when I had to step back, not because I wanted to give up, but because I needed to be strong enough to continue. I learned to love myself, to rest without guilt. And when I returned, I found myself calmer, deeper, and ready to continue the journey of love. Every relationship, whether brief or enduring, is a lesson in endurance, sacrifice, and patience. The people you meet in life, the struggles they carry, all leave a mark on you. What matters most isn't whether you can completely change their life, but that you are willing to walk beside them, even if only for a short while. I still remember a quote I heard somewhere. When you love someone, don't just love the easy parts of them. Love their shadows, their pain, and even their imperfections, because that's what makes them truly worthy of being cherished. It's something I've always held on to, and every time I face difficulties, I ask myself, have I truly been patient and compassionate enough to love? And if the answer is no, then my journey is far from over. I vividly recall my early days in the field of psychotherapy, stepping in with passion and the firm belief that I could transform lives. I saw myself as a small candle, ready to burn brightly to illuminate the darkness within others. But life, with all its complexity, isn't a place where passion and sincerity alone suffice. I quickly realized that the light from that candle could sometimes be overpowered by the vastness of the dark. Long days spent working from morning to night, hearing hundreds of life stories, tested not only my skills, but also the limits of my endurance. At first, I thought that if I listened sincerely enough, if I gave the right guidance, every issue could eventually be resolved. But reality proved far different from what I had imagined. There were patients who returned after numerous sessions, still carrying the same pain, still trapped in the same cycles with no way out. Each time that happened, I couldn't help but question myself. Did I do something wrong? Are my efforts futile? Gradually, I felt the fatigue creeping into every moment of my day. Each morning, I woke up with a heaviness, wondering whether today would bring something new or merely a repetition of familiar struggles. It wasn't that I had lost my empathy, but the constant pressure to always be strong, to always be the pillar of support, was draining me. I felt like a cup of water, endlessly poured out for others, forgetting that I, too, needed to be refilled. In the evenings, after finishing work, I often sat in silence, trying to distance myself from the stories I had heard throughout the day. But there were times when those stories clung to me, echoing incessantly in my mind. I wasn't depressed, but I understood all too well the feeling of emptiness when all your inner energy has been completely depleted. It's difficult to do this kind of work without being affected. Every story of pain becomes part of the burden you unknowingly carry. There were moments when I asked myself, can I keep going? If this continues, will there come a day when I no longer have the strength to move forward? Yet, in those moments, I would remember why I started, how I chose this path, not because it was easy, but because I believed in the value of helping others and in the idea that even the smallest light can make a difference in someone's life. I've learned to accept that I can't save everyone, that some people will need more time, or that there are wounds I cannot heal. But that doesn't diminish the value of what I've done. I know that even the smallest effort leaves an imprint, maybe not today, but someday in the future. And I've also learned to love myself. I've realized that to keep going, I need to reserve some strength for myself, to allow for pauses, to recharge and refill my empty cup. Because only when I'm strong can I help others find the strength within themselves. Choosing this path, I understand that it's not just about bringing healing to others, but also about confronting the shadows within myself. In my most challenging moments, I remind myself that as long as I hold on to a sincere intention, I'm on the right path. Though there are times of fatigue, I know that the light from this small candle, fragile as it may be, can still cast away some of the darkness. The journey in 2011, with a backpack and nearly 25 states to explore, not only a geographical expedition, but also an inner journey filled with trials. During the first 3 months, I felt like a dreamer, stepping into an unknown land, but also a small, vulnerable person facing lurking fears at every turn. Anxiety seeped into each step I took, making me want to stop, to retreat to the familiar comfort of safety. Yet something inside kept urging me. If you don't push through, can you truly say you've lived fully? I remember the long nights on the road, when loneliness blended with the darkness, carrying whispers of a fear of death. In a foreign place with no familiar faces around, thoughts of misfortune played out in my mind like a slow-motion film. But strangely, every time I faced danger, I felt a calm unlike any other. I accepted that death could come, and once that no longer frightened me, it was as if a heavy burden had been lifted. This readiness to face loss allowed me to discover a new kind of freedom, a freedom from fear. As the miles passed, I gradually realized that the harsh challenges along the journey were lessons meant to help me understand myself more deeply. When you overcome a fear, it doesn't simply disappear. It makes way for a greater inner strength. And it's that strength that allowed me to keep going, to face what once seemed impossible. Choosing a path of helping others is like walking across a bridge suspended over an abyss. You know that every step comes with a cost. But when you accept that from the start, fear no longer becomes a barrier. Instead, the focus shifts to maintaining composure, a delicate balance between heartfelt passion and self-preservation. I've learned that to help others, I cannot let myself be consumed by negative energy, nor can I sacrifice my happiness or personal freedom. On this journey, there were times I was utterly exhausted. Yet every time I looked back, I reminded myself, someone who has spent a significant part of life training and fortifying myself, still struggle, then others must be fighting battles of their own every single day. This understanding keeps me moving forward. Not because I aspire to be a hero, but because I know that everyone needs a hand to hold in their weakest moments. I've come to understand that to truly love, you need a heart that is strong and steady. You cannot be a source of support if you're unstable yourself. The image of a patient bridge, enduring and unwavering through storms, has become a symbol for me in love and in all relationships. To love isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about facing them head on, about accepting even the most imperfect parts of the person you care for. If there's one message I'd like to share from this journey, it's this. Don't let hardship discourage you. When you remain steadfast and willing to confront difficulties, you not only find strength within yourself, but also become a source of comfort and support for those around you. Be that bridge, not just to connect, but to uplift, protect, and prove that even in the hardest times, love and patience can create miracles. To truly love, I believe, isn't about promises or grand gestures when everything is under control. Real love shows itself when the person before you has hit rock bottom, when there's no light from better days, no trace of the charm they once had, when all that's left is their pain, despair, and the negative emotions they're too afraid to share. True love is choosing to stay even when you know it won't be easy. The lyrics of Hoa Vang, Maeng Mei Do always make me reflect. A flower blooms beautifully in its season, but it also carries the fragility and transience of life. That flower deserves to be cherished not only for its beauty, but also for the arduous journey it endured to stand there, proudly spreading its fragrance. The one who receives it isn't just an admirer, but must also be someone who understands that even beauty holds weariness, untold stories it cannot express in words. Love and compassion are much the same. They aren't just about savoring moments of happiness, but learning to lift each other when things are no longer whole. It's the willingness to embrace each other's wounds, differences, and even the scars the other person may not realize they carry. The song De Gyao Kun Di once soothed my heart in moments when patience seemed to run out. Song Chong Doi Song Kan Kamot Dam Long. A heart that doesn't leave burdens or pain on others, a heart as light as the wind, touching without causing harm. I've realized that true love is never the reason for someone to feel constrained or hurt. If love turns into a burden, it's no longer genuine love. In any relationship, there will always be times when two people don't see eye to eye, don't share the same feelings. But instead of shrinking your heart to endure, why not expand it? Like a river that can hold both the sweetness of a spring and the saltiness of the ocean. I've always believed that the capacity of the heart determines whether a relationship can withstand challenges. Expanding the heart isn't easy, as life is filled with pain. But when we learn to see things more gently, to stop resisting or battling against what cannot be changed, our hearts naturally grow larger. That's when we stop enduring and start embracing with peace and resilience. And when love shifts from resistance to acceptance, it doesn't just endure, it creates moments of profound meaning. Loving someone isn't just about cherishing their lovable traits. Love is when you see their flaws, their weaknesses, and still choose to stay, refusing to let differences overshadow the value of the relationship. It's about learning to expand your heart, not to endure, but to uplift, like a vast river embracing every stream, or a sturdy bridge weathering every storm. In that openness, both people can find peace, no matter how many challenges life throws their way. The story of a mother facing the anger and estrangement of her 17-year-old child comes to mind. Family conflicts have driven the child to refuse any contact with her, even sending heartbreaking messages threatening self-harm if the mother tries to reach out. I imagine this mother as a candle burning silently in a dark room, her faint light never extinguishing. It doesn't ask for anything, only to illuminate the path for her child who's lost in the shadows of life, in places even a mother cannot reach. She confides that her child's cold messages feel like blades cutting deep into her heart, but she doesn't blame her child. Instead, she asks herself, where did I go wrong? How can I ease their pain? Perhaps motherhood is a journey no one can ever fully prepare for, because every child is a unique world of their own, with struggles, conflicts, and pains that even they might not fully understand. At 17, her child is torn between the desire for independence and the fragility of youth, between a strong sense of self and an unspoken fear. In this turbulent time, every door seems closed, even the one leading to the heart that once held their mother as its whole world during childhood. In moments like this, the mother is like a river that flows endlessly, even when its bed is filled with sharp stones, even when its course is blocked by invisible barriers formed by her child's anger and distance. But the river keeps flowing, understanding that with patience those stones will eventually wear down, allowing the clear waters to come closer to the shore. I told her that being a mother isn't about perfection or always being right. It's about patiently standing by, even when your child pushes you away. It's about enduring hurtful words without retaliating. It's about quietly maintaining a connection through small gestures, a message, a greeting, or simply your steady presence. Long enough for your child to know that no matter where they go, you'll always be there. A mother's love doesn't require perfection, but it does demand sincerity. And sincerity isn't always understood immediately. Some forms of love need time to blossom, need the cracks of life to let the light in. I believe that one day, when that child grows up, when they can look back on these times with calmness and maturity, they will see clearly all that their mother has done. By then, all the anger and misunderstandings will become just a small part of a larger story, the story of unconditional love their mother has always given them. Her story is a reminder that in every relationship, especially between mother and child, patience and compassion are the foundation. A mother is not just a river, but also a bridge, connecting distant worlds, a bridge that remains steadfast through storms, waiting for the day her child returns. And when that day comes, what will remain won't be the pain, but a profound lesson about love and silent sacrifice. Ultimately, I've come to realize that the essence of every relationship doesn't lie in perfection, but in patience and genuine love. True love isn't about avoiding hardship or pain. It's about facing them with an open heart. It's about accepting the weak, flawed parts of others and lifting them with compassion. Whether it's a mother facing her child's estrangement or a companion on someone's healing journey, each challenge is an opportunity for us to expand our hearts. The image of a river or a patient bridge becomes a symbol of real love, strong, enduring, and willing to stay, no matter how fierce the storm. In the end, love isn't just a feeling but an action, a commitment to each small step, the courage to face challenges, and the sacrifice to keep the promise of never leaving. Such love not only helps us overcome difficulties, but also creates beautiful imprints on our lives and the lives of those we cherish. In this ever-changing world, if there's one thing worth preserving and treasuring, it is a heart full of love and unconditional compassion.